Howdy, folks from around the world. Welcome to, I was trying to say Wall of Reds. It's not Wall of Reds. It's All for United Uncut. And what does Uncut mean, anyone? It means it's after the watershed, and I guess we can swear. So we're going to open perfectly with this. And, oh, here he comes. How's the Wi-Fi? How's the Wi-Fi? It looks great so far. This is going fantastically well. As Stuart is becoming back. Oh, there he is. Is he there? Can you hear us? Is this working out the way we wanted to? Or is he just stoically looking at us disappointedly like a father?
He looks like he doesn't know where he is. But
we know you're here, Stuart, but you're also not here at the same time.
Because I might be struggling with StreamYard. My internet.
Okay, I'm just saying it's now, Stuart, we will say, okay, this is a typical dad. It's like, it's not my fault. It must be what you're doing. No, Stuart. We're all grand. You're crap.
I think I'm
which means it's your
with
fault.
StreamYard.
Okay. Do you want to try to get a different laptop, because it looks like you're doing a really weird dance move? That's going at 1/2 a frame per second.
I don't know then.
Well, if you don't know, then I don't know. But anyway, while Stuart is, I'm going to put you on mute until you get yourself sorted, or else you can just be our funny little mascot in the corner.
Do you know what?
What? Don't leave us in suspense.
Yeah. Okay, I think that's a goodbye, I think. Thanks, Stuart. Great start, guys. Thanks so much, everyone, tuning in. What a guy. Jamie, great to see you. John, great to see you. Fred, great to see you. George Michael, great to see you. Hama, what a guy. Thanks so much. And to prove it's uncut, like I said before, everyone, we're going to open with our favorite swear words. And Fred, I'm sure he did, and didn't work this one. So we're going to go to the table first. Put in your comments your favorite swear word, because it's All for United Uncut. This is what we're going to do. Mark, what's your favorite swear word?
Abysmal.
Oh, for the love of God. Is that really what you're going for there?
No, you know what? I try not to swear too much.
I'm not asking you to swear throughout the show.
I try and keep it clean. I quite like yeah, it's a good one. Okay. I try not to swear too much, mate.
But both the motion and the notion of saying it. Callum, either or. Sorry, and apologies. Thank you, Fred, for paying attention over many weeks. It's Boy George, not George Michael. Sorry. Apologies. Callum, what's your favorite swear word?
Oh, we're really hitting the hard questions as we start this tonight, aren't we? Probably knobhead. You can always call someone knobhead.
And you know what? That one, I don't want to say it doesn't translate, because we just don't say it in Ireland. Do you know?
It's a very Mancunian swear word, I feel.
And I love my favorite time that's ever been used ever was Paul Scholes with Robbie Savage, when he says it under his breath, just knobhead, to himself, and you're like, that went. And the thing was, he was interviewed afterwards, and he said that he didn't even know he said it, and it's not even him like backing away. It was just him going like, he is a knobhead, and I say it the whole time to him that it just must be like subconscious at this stage, that he says it.
I feel Robbie Savage would probably agree with that anyway.
He does.
Savage.
I like Robbie Savage, and his son plays for us now. Hopefully, he has a more successful Man United career than Robbie Savage did.
Were you alluding to Paul Scholes calling him a knobhead?
Yeah,
that's what we're talking about. Yeah.
I thought you didn't swear, Mark.
Yes, thank you, Callum. Thank you, Callum.
Guard.
Yeah, you swore again there. Hamid said I can't choose, man. I grew up in New Jersey, been cursed like a sailor since I was 10. I know lots of sailors, and none of them swear as much as that. Jamie, very much saying Liverpool is a swear word, and that actually brings you on to a point. I was chatting to the lads just before here, and because before we go into actually talking about United, and wherever you're watching, by the way, have a drink and make sure to share this on Twitter, and I'll put up a post and share whatever drink you're drinking on Twitter, please. And cheers to everyone that's here. I think all the results today kind of went our way. All right. I know obviously the City one did. And for reasons I'm going to explain now, the Chelsea one did, and so did the Liverpool one. Okay. Because I don't want Liverpool to get Champions League football, but also I don't want them to get no European football either. Because if they are only going to focus on the league, then they never care. Like Klopp seemingly just doesn't give a shit about cup competitions, like a lot of managers seemingly as well. That like he will just focus on those 38 games in the Premier League over anything else. And for me, that is a worry because I don't want them, if they're trying to come back into form, they can play their way back into form by just playing 38 games. Stuart, you look like you're moving properly now. I'm going to fingers crossed. God, yes, he is. Yes, he is. Sorry. I got annoyed first when I saw Declan Rice, and then it kept going. You're dead right. And he'll be a swear word in Manchester very soon as well. Stuart, we're praying for the love of God that this works. Is it working? Do something. No, it's just... Thank you so much, Stuart, for being a great guest tonight.
Am I?
Yeah, it's you. Okay. Bye, Stuart.
Try connect to your phone.
Yeah, that's
He's
the
never
last
had
time.
internet problems.
Never had the
before,
problem. Yeah.
No, he doesn't usually, does it?
He's always very, very, very good. But what do you guys think of that point I made? Keep them get your thoughts in the comments as well. Are the 3 results? And of course, Chelsea winning today means that they are kind of I think they're 6 points, 5 or 6 points ahead of 5th place. So that kind of is seeing them into that position. And who cares who comes second, fourth, or third between them and Leicester? They can win all their remaining games. As long as we win our remaining games, then we're guaranteed top 2. You know, and that's fine with us. But would you kind of go with that mindset, or would you just want to see Liverpool lose?
That's good maths, Joe. If we win all our remaining games, we will stay second. That's very true. Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I never like to see Liverpool win, and they did today. But I think, when you come up against a Villa side that are without Jack Grealish at the moment, they were probably going to be there for the taking. It was only a matter of time before they started scoring goals. I think they hadn't scored in 12 and a half hours up until today at home.
Yeah.
So, these things are going to happen. But I was shocked by Man City today, to be honest. Leeds had 10 men from the first half and managed to get a win. Now, I do think that they're a little bit rattled at the moment, to be honest, for one reason or another.
No, Mark, they're the best team that's ever lived, ever. Have you not listened to anything online? They're the greatest team who's ever played football in the history of mankind.
I think you have to take a lot of what you read online with a pinch of salt, quite frankly. But, I mean, they got an important game next week against Dortmund, who are very much in the race. And, if they get a result next week against City, then they could completely drop. We'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, before I get to you on that point, Callum, I just want to say, Jamie, Chelsea want to watch for next season. I believe you could copy and paste that message from last year as well. Okay, so new manager bounce. I don't think they're incredibly impressive, if I'm being completely honest. I don't think they've had the Champions League against Porto. I get Porto, bet Juventus, but this isn't the same Juventus as what we're used to seeing. What's that? Chelsea will also win the Champions League this season, or at least get to the final. Again, that's a huge call. Like who do they have the last? Okay, they had Atletico Madrid, who have not been in good form at all for the last while, and Porto again. No matter how well they're playing, they're still Portuguese football. So then, once they get to the semi-final, which I'm sure they will, I think Madrid will destroy them, if I'm being honest. And then also,
question for Jamie.
Yeah,
how much did Chelsea pay him?
Right, they're skint. But Callum, your thoughts on what we were saying there? Are those results, do they work better for United?
Yeah, they probably do. Do you know what? I didn't even think about the whole Europa League situation with Liverpool, but it would work, wouldn't it? I just never ever want to see Liverpool win, to be honest.
Exactly.
So it's quite hard to admit, but that is probably a really good sort of way of looking at it. You saw the other year when Chelsea didn't make any European football. And was it the following season they went and won the league? So it does help, unless you called Arsenal, obviously. But it can help, didn't it?
The only time it doesn't help, and we're and absolutely sorry, Kartik just commented in there. Kartik, sorry lads, couldn't join tonight for obvious reasons. Absolutely, Kartik. I don't know if you want us to speak about what happened to you. And through that, but go to Kartik on Twitter and find out. And he got absolutely shafted by a scumbag. So all the love, Kartik. You're an absolute legend, and you're dead right. You're absolutely dead right in everything you're saying. So check that out, guys, if you want to know what he's talking about. And we're going to try this, okay? We have two people coming in, okay? He's moving. He seems to be moving properly. First, we're going to welcome. Please pray to the football gods that this one works, okay?
He looks in better shape.
He does look in better shape. I think it looks like he changed the top as well. Not you, Hammer. We have you coming in as well. Stuart.
Hi, you guys.
Oh, my Christ.
Apologies.
And also, please welcome Hammer, everybody.
Hey, Hammer.
Hey.
Hi, guys.
We're doing great. We're doing great. I don't want to hear you explain how you fixed your Wi-Fi. Just do it every time. And you look like you're wearing the England 66 top, which has upset me as well.
Did you do what I had to do, Stu?
No, I've got my I've got a few laptops through work, so I've got a one of those Microsoft tablet things. What they're called.
Surface.
So I've just popped that one on. So I think Surface. So I think I need to reset my normal laptop, which I'll do later.
Good bit of product placement there, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Nice.
On Cardick, hope everyone is good though, and I'm okay, thanks, mate. And yeah, Cardick, absolutely, you're an absolute legend, and we'll see you.
Yes.
We'll see you tomorrow for the. No, I won't see you tomorrow. See you next time for the match, whenever you're doing a match thing again. But yeah, I don't know who heard my points that I was making. And Jamie has some points there about Chelsea, which I do completely disagree with. I don't think Chelsea are. I think Thomas Tuchel is a better manager than what's his name, Frank Lampard. But like I am, so I think it's.
Talk about staying the obvious, Joe.
Yeah. Sorry, that's me. So. I don't think Chelsea are going to be hugely impressive next season, but like what I was saying,
bit of geezer, Cal, bit of geezer,
having a bit of geezer,
guys.
Basically, what I was saying, if you didn't hear me, was that I think that the results today all worked out best for us. Obviously, City losing, but Chelsea winning puts them further away from Liverpool getting top four. But also, Liverpool winning gets them probably 5th place ish, and if they get top 5, they get 5th place. That means they have UEFA Cup football or whatever it's called. Next season, which means that they will be playing Thursday nights, which is more awkward and worse than playing Tuesdays. So, and we don't want them just to have 38 games and that's it to focus on in the Premier League. So, does that make sense? And does someone's kettle agree with me?
Yeah, I don't know what that is. I can hear it too.
Yeah.
It's not my kettle.
No, hold on. It is your kettle, Stu.
Kettle? I haven't got a kettle.
Well, someone is whistling behind you.
This is new laptop.
It's probably my new laptop, yeah.
Okay, go on. You give us what do you think of
what
the
I was
points
going to
I
say? What I was going to say is Palace have got the potential to either be excellent on their day or capitulate on their day, irrespective of how good the opposition is. And I just think it was a question today that Palace capitulated. I didn't think Chelsea were one of those teams that, steamrolled Palace. I just think they rolled over, their belly tickled.
Yeah.
And that's the problem with Chelsea. I mean, Tuchel's obviously a very good manager. Tactically, he's very astute. And they've got some good players on their day. But I just think today, Palace just didn't turn up. I think it was quite a relatively straightforward game. When you consider what Leeds did to City, in as much as pure determination, to win the game of football and want to win a game of football, Palace were completely the opposite. So I won't write much into Chelsea today. I think they've got a chance.
With you, actually, Stu. I think that Palace made Chelsea look a lot better today, and I don't think there's anything to take away from it. Listen, we United fans, we're not going to try and talk anybody up, but I think that I'm not entirely sure myself if Tuchel is the right manager for them. It's not going to bring the football that Abramovich wants, and I mean they've got a lot to do. He's still got to bring in his own players. He's still got some money to spend, so it could be different. We might be having a different conversation next year, but I think it's very, very early to be able to state anything like that.
All right, but for the conversation we're having right now, okay, so if we finish second, okay, and we have a respectable distance behind City, we'll say within 6 points. We'll just say ideally that would be a good way to finish, all right? We have to say we definitely have to challenge next season for the title. We have to improve on that because you always have to improve after every season. Would you look at it and go, is it Chelsea? If it finishes, okay, we'll say ideally, well, not ideally, but just if it finishes City first, United second, Leicester third, Chelsea fourth, Liverpool fifth. So those 5 of European football next season. Who do you think will be challenging for the title along with us? It had to be us next season. Do you think all of those teams, or
it'd probably be the usual suspects, really, wouldn't it? Like, I think Liverpool will probably come back stronger next year with Van Dijk and things coming back. And then I just want to add a quick point now about what we were saying before. So City did lose tonight, and we could potentially get the gap back down to 8 points if we win our 2 games in hand. But the thing that really irks me at the minute is if you think about it, the loss against Sheffield United, the drop points against West Brom, the silly VAR decisions that have gone against us. Man United, our squad is not that good, yet we should be challenging for the league this year when you think. So it is quite a strange one when you think about it. No one would have thought that at the start of the season. And it's quite a good sign that we're showing that we're pissed off.
Yeah.
That we're not about to win a league title. You know, all if buts and maybes, but losing to Sheffield United was completely not on. Drawing against West Brom, completely not on. A couple of hearsay decisions here and there, and United should be 6, 7, 8 points better off at this point. So it is a really annoying situation. And on the 2 point, I think he's a very underrated manager. I think a lot of people wrote him off because he was at PSG. But you know, he took them to the Champions League final. I think he's a very good manager, and I think you've seen that with the improvement in Chelsea.
Yeah,
Lampard wasn't great, but I think it's quite unfair sometimes to write him off as a manager. I know I'm not saying we are, but you do see it a lot, especially at his time at PSG. They just said, "Oh, it's Farmers League," and you know, he had all this money to spend. But you know, I personally think with the amount of money that Lampard spent last summer, he's probably not going to have that much to spend this summer. So he's going to have to make this current team his team regardless.
It's also a good team, so he should be fine.
And it is a very good team. Yeah. So I think that comment probably is right. I think it could be a one to watch next year. I think next season, probably considering if our owners back this summer, we could be seeing 4, 5, 6 teams challenging for the league title next year. And as a neutral fan, not as a United fan, that is what everyone wants to see. I'd rather it be United steamrolling the league and winning it every year.
That was the 90s. But Callum, not to interrupt, but kind of interrupt because we have a Phoenix who has risen from the ashes. We have Rocky Balboa after giving a knockout punch on Ivan Drago. Please welcome for your glorious what is it? All for United Uncut, the beautiful, the wonderful, the war-torn Kartik, everybody.
Hey, here he is.
I'm not fucking dead.
No, you're not. No, you're not.
Fucking hell.
Well.
Oh, yeah, I hope this podcast doesn't get me into any trouble, by the way.
Not too much trouble, you know.
It just depends what I say, innit?
Depends if you put Kermit up, doesn't it? I guess.
Yeah. Will we put you on? Will we put you on full screen, or do you want to finish that Coke and build up a bit of energy?
No, how are we all doing? I hope this chat's a little less dramatic than the evening I've just had.
Yes.
Yeah, I was very confused in that WhatsApp group until I found out what was going on, and I was like, "Oh, he is such a bastard."
That's not good. It's not like he's going to watch this, but it's fine, whatever.
Yeah, but if he does, fuck you. Yeah, in his entirety. I'm
not laughing. I'm not laughing.
Yeah,
and that was a joke.
Yeah, it was a joke. It was a joke.
I see the WhatsApp thing, but I saw the Twitter part of it, and I'm gonna give a very myself answer. Everyone just needs to fucking smoke something and relax. They're all getting way too heated over some shit, man. Yeah.
Of course you'd say that. Of course you would.
Well, of course, yeah.
You know who I'm missing tonight? John and his bottle of Captain Morgan. Where is he?
Yeah. He's not here. Yeah.
You know what's happening? He's not come on because he didn't have another drink. He ran out of Captain Morgan and he didn't want to buy another one, so he just decided not to come on. He's actually at home sitting with his feet up. Fuck you, Jonathan.
Yeah, fuck you, Jonathan. You're the real enemy. You're the real enemy. But Carly, we were saying on the results today, to get your 2 cents on it, we think they actually worked in our favor because obviously City losing is the obvious one, which is even though it was Leeds, it was so beautiful, but also with the with Liverpool winning and Chelsea winning, because we want Liverpool to get 5th place because that's crap European football. Unless we win it, then it's great European football. But we want them having to play on Thursday nights in Kazakhstan, ideally, and not getting the rest of their players for a whole week just to focus on the Premier League. And, you know, to take their eye off the ball a little bit. Would you agree with that, or do you just want to see them lose the whole time?
I'm not asked about Liverpool, I'm not going to lie. I haven't been asked about them for about 3-4 months now. The one result that did catch my eye was City, because we're obviously not going to go and win the league.
Yeah. He said it! He said it!
21 is on, mate.
Yeah, 21 and 21.
We're back, baby! We're back! But you can't guess how I'm going to end this show.
Oh, I can't wait.
You know, talking about that, lads, funnier things in football have happened because momentum is key, isn't it? Momentum's the real thing for any football team. If you grab momentum, it's great. And I personally don't think City will get past Dortmund next week. I think they'll lose in Dortmund, and I think they'll be out of the Champions League. And I think they'll be. And I've got a feeling. I know we talked about Chelsea earlier, and it wouldn't surprise me if Chelsea don't turn City over in the FA Cup as well.
Well,
it could be.
Funny you should say that. We've lost a title from 8 points ahead and with 6 games to go.
We have, yeah, we have, yeah. It's
that was the Aguero moment, wasn't it?
Oh, let's not.
Yeah, let's not.
Fucking picture it now. It's Fred. That's it.
Fred.
Yeah, that's what's going to happen.
Yeah, but like I say, funny things have happened. I think it'd be quite a pivotal week, really, for a lot of clubs. I mean, of course, City losing today has no bearing unless we win tomorrow. And it's really, I mean, it's important we won tomorrow anyway, but it's vitally important we win now because, until it's mathematically impossible, you've got to hope as a football fan, you've got to hope that we can get over the line. So, people will mock me, people will laugh at me, but fuck them. That's the way I look at it. You've got to really consider where we could be. But it does bring into it brings to light more the stupid, silly results that we've had, and teams that we really should have beaten and we've lost to. Who knows where we would have been? So quite interesting.
Sorry, really quickly, Fred Woodward. That's Liam Cooper's red card, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Hang on a minute. We've got a question here from Mark. I've got a. I love to take big kettle to What's up with this kettle talk? What's going on?
It's probably it's my my tablet. I think it's got just a tab.
Some sort of little whining noise in the background. Can you not hear that? I thought it was coming from downstairs, but no.
I thought it was that voice in my head again.
It probably is. I've had to go to my Microsoft whatever I've got Surface something Pro thing rather than my normal laptop.
Do you know what I think it is? I think all this is, Stu, is I think you're just trying to brag about how many laptops and tablets you've got.
Oh yeah, I just left my MacBook Pro in the kitchen. Well, sorry, what's wrong with that?
Well, you know what it is like. You have to, when you're at the racetracks and you're interviewing the top riders, you got to make sure you got all the right stuff with you.
Yeah. I left my iPad on my private plane. Oh,
I've got my iPad here. I've got an iPad here somewhere. I don't know. Anyway,
Joe, I don't know if you actually asked everyone, but what is everyone drinking?
Geezer.
Stuart's sucking on some geezer there.
Real ale.
Stuart's sucking on who?
Some geyser. Some geyser.
It's a geyser.
Sucking on some geyser.
I'm a scum tonight, so I'm having Foster's.
Hold on. Oh. Yeah, I've never seen anyone drink from a can of Foster's. It's always the cheap drink you get at a bar. And you're like, and it's always Foster's. It's Foster's or it's Tuborg or it's, what's the other one? I can't remember the last one. But I've never seen someone go out there and actually get it. You know
what, mate? It was £9 for 12 cans.
There you go. There you go.
That'll do me. And I had a few cans left over. So I thought I'll finish them off tonight. That'll do me. But in my local pub that I always go in Manchester, it's £2.20 for a pint of that. And it does exactly. It does the exact same job as a £5 pint does. So why not?
Yeah, absolutely.
Guinness in my local pub, £4.50.
I mean, don't get me wrong; it's absolutely disgusting.
It was piss water, isn't it? It's fucking horrible.
Can you don't even taste anything anymore, you know?
Stu, with how many laptops you have, I'm surprised it's not about £12 a pint.
Well, yes,
No, Mark, that's when he's on the company account.
That's one of definitely one of my company accounts. Yeah.
On the private.
I was telling Joe a couple of weeks ago, lads, I bought a crate of taster real ale because I like real ale and Guinness really. So I bought a taster one. So over the last few weeks, I've been tasting different beers and ales. The best one was the Luxembourg one.
I fucking was waiting for that. I was fucking waiting for that.
Top fucking drawer it was.
Why, Joe? What's wrong with Luxembourg?
I have no issues with Luxembourg. I have a huge issue with my national team being so shit that we lose to Luxembourg. But
you lost to Luxembourg. That's
funny, yeah. Yeah, it was unfortunate. It was unfortunate. It wasn't fun for anyone.
Absolutely.
Well, it seemed to be fun for everyone here and everyone when we did the Uncut that night 3 weeks ago. But
Yes.
yeah,
To
I
be
mean,
fair, Joe, I'm a bit of a plastic paddy, so I was a bit like
I always knew I liked your Callum.
I'm that guy. I'm Irish on the 17th of March.
I'm a big fan of that, Callum. It's better than being British for the other 365 days. So
But whilst we're on the topic of beer, I every month I subscribe to this thing. I don't know if any of you have heard of it. This Beer 52, and if you've heard of it. And this month's one was Belgian beer, and I got 12 beers in this box. Excuse me, and I think that the lowest percentage of all the beers was 6%, and I had all 12 on a quiz. It might have been. Do you know what? It might have been Karthik's first Uncut a few weeks ago. Because
when all of us were wrong.
Oh, yeah, I remember that picture.
I remember Joe's internet constantly going off. Him laughing at everything because he was smashed. And I remember, I can't remember who was on off the top of my head, but one of you said something, and I screamed at my webcam because I was like, "Are serious? He can't possibly think that." And then I looked at the beer that I was drinking, and it was like 11.5%. I thought, you know what?
A lot of Belgian beers. A lot of Belgian beer is wheat, isn't it? It's made with wheat, isn't it? A lot of Belgian beer, so it's quite strong.
Yeah.
I actually, Callum, I remember that because I remember you posting in the comments being like, I don't agree with that at all. I just remember very clearly
saying we're going to win some tournament.
Did you notice how I didn't put any more comments after that? I was like, I can't be bothered. I'm going to end up putting my fist through the computer screen.
I think it might have been me bad-mouthing the FA Cup.
Yeah. Sorry, hang on a minute. Can we discuss that?
What? Yeah, I can talk about it whenever you want.
What? How you hate the FA Cup?
I don't see. This is
miserable bastard.
This is what you do, Kartik. You take what I say and you put it in a context for everyone to hate me with. Okay?
I'm a host on a YouTube channel. What do you think my job is?
Yeah, you just like stirring the tea, don't you?
So, Joe hates the FA Cup. Discuss.
I just said, okay, and I stand by it, that if we're looking at priorities, obviously I want to win them all, blah, 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 blah. But it is better for us, both commercially and for like coefficients, to win the Europa League. Whilst win the FA Cup is lovely, its standard has dropped down, so it's only like a bit ahead of the League Cup. Do you know?
You'd be a lovely mouthpiece for the Glazers, wouldn't you?
He would, yeah.
Oh, what?
Can you not, though, see the nostalgia and the romance?
Yeah, I get that. I completely understand that.
And if you go scan on YouTube, go to 1979 and watch Sammy McIlroy's second goal. It was the equalising goal against Arsenal. We lost the cup 3-2.
Yeah.
But you check out McIlroy's second goal, and you can't help but be drawn into the nostalgia of it. And when Whiteside popped his away in '85, you just can't help it.
But Stu, you know why it was like that back then, okay? If you want to go into football history, I will. Fine, I will. It's because what you had 3 teams that are allowed in Europe. You had the winners, you had the cup winners, you had what second place went to the UEFA Cup. Okay, so European football didn't matter to anyone up until about, you could even say maybe 97, 98 meant more to us because when we got knocked out in the semi-final against Monaco, then obviously when we won it, there was obviously, it's like a huge thing, okay? And also when the Heysel Stadium disaster happened, and no one talks about that anymore, and we were banned from playing, English team were banned from playing for England, it was just the FA Cup. So when was it, honestly, okay, and not even just talk about United, when was the last time it felt like the FA Cup mattered? Outside of Portsmouth winning it, which was huge for them, or Wigan
Wigan, yeah.
But when we won it,
I've definitely just remembered what it was that annoyed me that night, and it definitely was you, Joe.
It's good. I kind of
PTSD.
I kind of see where you're going with that, Joe. But the problem with today's game, it's all monetary. It's all monetized.
I agree.
Everything is money, and the problem is, for me. And maybe I'm old school, maybe I'm not, but the Champions League should be for champions, irrespective of whether you come from Hungary, Bermuda, wherever. It should be like. And now what you're going to see, you're going to Bermuda. I was just saying,
what a country! What a country to choose.
What you last week.
But what you're going to see, I was actually. I wish.
That's where his secret family are.
Yeah. Well, we are one of them. But what you're going to see, what you're going to see though, unfortunately, is now 2 levels of the Champions League. You can just see it coming. You can just see 2 levels of the Champions League coming, and that's really sad.
Do you know what I think that noise is? I think that noise is Callum's head about to explode. Because
Callum probably agrees with me in many ways because we both like the FA Cup, and
this is what I mean. Though, like,
can I just say, I'd be quite worried if the champions of Bermuda were in the Champions League because it's not in Europe.
Yeah, I know. I might have got that wrong. I don't know what. Oh fucking hell! I'm doing a Callum now. I don't know where I am. But,
the thing is as well, Stu. You say old school, and I mean this in the nicest way.
Oh no,
I'm only 24, and I'm old school. I think it's a sign of how much of an old grumpy old man that I am, to be honest.
Well, I mean, I'm 24 too, but I kind of agree with Joe on this one.
You're 242.
Christ, you look great.
Wow.
No, but yeah,
Fair play. Wow, Emma. Everyone should smoke your special herbs. I think that's what the way.
I was about to say it's the weed, but no, I kind of agree with Joe. Like in terms of just viewing it from a short-term thing, like it's this, and I know it's the money thing that you mentioned, Stu, but it kind of is how sports is now.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, and it is a shame because football as we know it, always we knew it. And it's all generational, so don't get me wrong. I mean, I can only talk about my experiences of the FA Cup, really, and it is all generational. If you ask my son, he's 20 years old. He's not interested in the FA Cup one little bit. It's all about the Champions League. Everything's about the Champions League. He doesn't care about the FA Cup. And I've tried to explain to him what the magic of the FA Cup's about, but. I do take your point, Joe, about coefficient, and I take yours as well, Hammer. You know, we are in different eras of our football.
No, but like, the thing is, too, like, I loved when the FA Cup meant something. I'm not taking away from it as a trophy and what it means. It's the oldest cup competition in the world, but I just think the BBC only used to do like a full day leading up to it, but they kind of stopped that now. They did it. I think they brought it back a couple of years ago. They don't care about it, and unfortunately, that bleeds in. And the only way people can care about it, and I think they should do this, but FIFA or UEFA won't allow it because they want the same teams in every year. The 4th place in the Champions League should go to the FA Cup. Do you know?
Yeah, I wouldn't disagree with that. Yeah, I wouldn't disagree with that at all.
It'd bring back the prestige of it as well. I think.
Absolutely.
If anything, with the FA Cup over the past 7 or 8 years, to be honest.
United
we probably should be a lot more grateful to it over the past 8 years because our position and performances in the league have been shocking over the past close to a decade, and the FA Cup was kind of a break for that.
Yeah.
So I feel like if you ask when was the last time it mattered to a United fan, it probably should have been the last 8 years because no one wants to fucking watch us in the league.
So the thing is, Callum, with that, all right, I think the fact if clubs won it, cared about it as much as they do, okay? Because unfortunately, this is where it is. Again, I'm not having a go at it, but it's a mid-table pushing for a club competition. That's why it's the only thing Arsenal can win. You just have to read the thing, aren't you?
Yeah.
That's why Arsenal have won it so much that they didn't. Like, we've won it twice this century. Do you know? It was because I know we got to 2 further finals, but we weren't pushing for it. We didn't want to win it, not actively. It's a Champions League and the Premier League, and then I genuinely think they see the League Cup and the FA Cup as kind of the same. If I'm at this stage, as the club do, you know. I think I'm not. Again, this is how I think the club see it.
Do you know what, Joe? You chat shit, mate.
You know what they should do? They should have VAR only in the FA Cup.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Yeah. That's kind of an interesting thing.
Look at like Jacob's comments here. Remember marching bands on the pitch before the final? I think that stopped when the old Wembley went. Like stuff like that when it was the biggest game of the year and it was played out like that, but they don't want it to be the biggest game of the year anymore. For whatever reason, they care more about European football than the FA Cup. But every FA Cup final, it seems like the Championship fucking playoffs is built, has more of a build up. It's what they call it. No, Callum, I know your head's going to explode, but like, hear me out, okay?
No, you're probably right though. In all seriousness, I think. I mean, that's what I mean. Like the marching bands went, the whole day lead up went. You are right. It's just like Stu said. I think it's just an old school thing that some people haven't lost that love for the FA Cup. And you're right. Money over everything else in football, and the FA Cup just doesn't have that money and prestige it once had. And it's a shame for people like the ones that do love the FA Cup still. But I saw that it just isn't.
I've just clocked that.
Yeah. Oh, that's funny, that is.
Someone's staring at your chest too much, Hammer.
Yeah. No, I'm just kidding.
If you want to get more viewers in, we should make him take it off.
Do we think somebody made a point about the Cup Winners' Cup?
Yeah, I was
whether the demise of that maybe took a lot away from cup competitions, I don't really know, but
I just think it was the fact that because it doesn't have, like, those cup competitions don't have the same prestige in any other country. So the FA Cup had the longest run of it because English teams were banned for so long. The fact that they were the biggest teams in the world competing, but there was only one team allowed in Europe. So like it did mean more. And I don't think, and the Champions League final, like, it'll never have the same luster as the FA Cup did in its day, of having the full day thing, of the backstage thing, of everything's so media micromanaged now that you can't have that bit of fun and spontaneity.
Do you know? So just to sort of back your point up, the best way you could describe the FA Cup losing its prestige is, so for the lower, the so-called smaller clubs, with no disrespect to them, but like the Bournemouths, the Watfords, the Newcastles, them kind of teams, the Arsenals, those kind of teams who just don't technically, they don't have a chance of winning trophies. The FA Cup is that sort of giant killing trophy, and they're never going to win the league. So the FA Cup and the League Cup are the two trophies that they have a shout of winning. In the third and fourth and fifth round, even when they get drawn against the likes of United, Chelsea, Liverpool, the big teams, they still field weakened sides because their main goal is the money to stay in the Premier League. So if it did have that prestige, they'd field the full strength and make sure they won it.
Absolutely.
But the thing is, they seem to forget that. So the club itself will always want the money, but I don't think the fans will ever pick the money over a cup. Like Wigan in 2013, I think it was, or whenever it was.
Yes.
Those fans have got the FA Cup forever. They will remember that.
And same. I know it's not the same trophy, obviously, but Birmingham winning the League Cup, they would take that over. They would take relegation for having that. Do you know what I mean? They'd have that memory for the rest of their lives.
If I'm not mistaken, both sides got relegated that year. Yeah, and quite frankly,
they did. They did.
They don't speak about the trophy before they talk about the relegation every single time.
The thing also about the FA Cup is it gives lower league teams a chance of a little bit of glory as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
Step 8 and step 9 gives them a chance to potentially get through to the first round proper, and it's a massive money spinner for them as well. It really is.
I agree. But when was the last time? And we'll try. Look, I'm sorry. I want to make this point before I say it anyway. If the FA Cup, and I stand by saying, like, if the FA Cup meant something to United, we would have won more than 2 this century. Do you know? Like, that's for definite for me. Do you know? And also, if the FA Cup meant something to other teams as well, every single year, you'll have one of Liverpool, Arsenal, Man United, Chelsea, Man City, all of them, at least 2, like those 2 would, out of those 6 teams, 2 of them would be in the final every year, you know, and they would take up the majority of semi-final places. For the fact that I remember, like, what was it, last year's FA Cup final had Watford against, who did Watford play? No, at semi-final, it was Watford against Wolves, wasn't it? And City beat, who did City beat again? I don't think it was anyone big. Oh, no, sorry, that was the year before. Year before that was, Yeah. Last year, I think, was actually quite a big one. That was, United beat Chelsea and City beat Arsenal, I think. So that was actually quite a big one. But prior to that, it's been, no one's given a shit. Like, Portsmouth should never won it, and they beat Cardiff in the final. You know, I remember Hull getting to a final, Sheffield United getting to a semi-final. Like, it just that people don't care about it anymore. And it's a trophy at the end of the day, and it should matter. But Here we are. Oh, look, guys, we're 40 minutes in and we haven't talked about whatever the topic is we're supposed to talk about.
We have gone
All
on
right.
a massive
Yeah.
tangent.
Yeah.
Yes.
But this is Uncut.
Yes.
We
Yes.
can do what the fuck we want here. Including people's Wi-Fi's refusing to work at separate times. So the topic we're supposed to be talking about is Cavani. So get your thoughts in on it. So I just want to get this comment first from John Commode. FA Cup was bigger back in the day. Premier League and Champions League, no doubt, take more precedent. I personally wouldn't watch the FA Cup final unless United are in it, but I will always want to win it. Yeah, I'll always want to win everything as well. But on Cavani, he's mulling over signing a new contract. There's interest from United for a year-long extension, but it's also Boca Juniors want him for 2 years, and he's just deciding which way he wants to go. I think I know what way I want this to happen, but we'll go across the table anyway. Mark, what are your thoughts on it?
Yeah, I think, everyone may get put into this position from time to time. We've seen that with David De Gea, wants to be closer to home. I can imagine Cavani's kind of in the same boat. It's been a tough year for everybody, one way or another. And if you're away from what you know, then it could be difficult. But look, Cavani probably hasn't done enough for me this season. He's obviously scored us some excellent goals, and the biggest thing he's brought to the club is the lack of number 9 that we need. And obviously he's been a good master to some of the other kids that are there. Do you know what I mean? And it wouldn't be the end of the world. I think actually looking at it, it was probably quite an astute signing by United. Probably took us all by surprise. I think we probably were all in uproar about it, but he's sort of in a way paid dividends, yeah. If that's what he wants to do, you can't hold them to that. If you have a decision in life, sometimes you got to take a risk, and you're going to make a decision that's not going to make everybody happy. But if that's what he wants to do, then that's absolutely fine, and it would just mean that the club are going to be pushed that bit harder to get another striker in.
Yeah. Callum, for yourself?
Cavani is a very good player and has scored some very important goals for us. But all Cavani is a showing and a proof of a club that is run by an incompetent board. If we really wanted Cavani, we wouldn't have waited until deadline day to get him.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like I say, he scored some very vital goals for us. He's helped comebacks. He's performed okay when needed. And the thing is, I'd probably say, yeah, he probably should go in the summer if I had the trust of the board that they could replace him or get a striker in, which I think over the last few years it's pretty obvious that nobody should have trust in them because they're useless when it comes to that sort of thing. It's like I said before. I can't remember if I said it at the start, but it's testament to Ollie and the players where we are because nobody thought we'd be where we are, and I don't think United ever wanted Cavani. I think it was a showing that Woodward failed.
Yeah.
Oh fuck, we need a player. We need some players in. It's now deadline day. Who's out there? Who can we get nice and easy? If we really wanted Cavani, he'd have been signed alongside Donny van der Beek in the first few weeks of the window. We had a long, long time to get a load of players in, and they were that useless that they bought Amad Diallo in on the last day of the transfer window, who we couldn't even play until January because they fucked up the work permit. I just wonder. I'm curious what Mark's dog might think on that.
Let me ask her one sec.
What's her name?
Morgan. She's only little. She's a husky German Shepherd lab, but she's only tiny and she's 4 years old. But beautiful.
Well, I already love her.
Thank you, mate. She loves you too.
Fucking beautiful. Finally, a woman who loves me. Hammer, for yourself on the Cavani situation?
Well, mine kind of hinges on what Callum pointed out, the whole trusting in the board thing, right? I think if he wants to go and, it looks like his injuries are acting up, and I think we knew that, but he has something left in the tank, but to do it at what we need him to do, because, we don't really have a massively consistent high-level number 9 yet. So the only way I would be like, okay, fine, let him go because he wants to go finish his career at home, which is fine, is if I had full trust that we would get some kind of replacement in, and I just don't think we will.
Can I just interject a little bit? I totally agree with what you're saying, but before we signed him, there was genuine interest by Real Madrid, Porto, Atletico. So it just hasn't worked out for us. It could have. Unfortunately, it hasn't. But he's still a world-class striker. He is.
I don't think. I wouldn't even say it's not worked out for us. I just think his injuries have sort of come into play, which is probably why Porto and Atletico didn't go for him. His wage demands were high, and unfortunately, I think we were just desperate to get somebody in. And Real Madrid and the other clubs weren't particularly as desperate. If it was truly wanted, they would have got him. And I think, unfortunately, United got him because we were desperate. So he is he is a brilliant striker, and don't get me wrong, he's done well for us when he's needed to. But he's one of his bugbears were the injuries, and I think that was what everyone's sort of thing on him was.
Yeah, I mean, that's it, back in March, he had an ACL. Now, that's a very, very difficult injury to recover from. I appreciate he might have not had knee injuries, but it was always going to be a huge risk. But as I said, I feel that some solace we can take from that is actually it's opened up all of our eyes about what a proper number 9 is. We haven't really had one for a while, besides Lukaku and maybe a couple others.
Mark, that's actually a great comment from Fred there. Relative to Igalo, Cavani was a good signing, but we can't sell Lukaku and sign 2 30-year-olds for free. You just can't do that.
Absolutely right. And ultimately, it does pull the wool over our eyes. And, but that says, on the other side of the coin, that if United do, if Ollie does get backed and they do sign a world-class striker, not even for huge amounts of money, but they do make that replacement at some point. You've got to remember over the last few years that we have been going through a transition. Now, you can argue that we've been going through that transition for 8 years, but since Ollie has come in, it's brought that stability. And therefore, there's going to be a lot of changes. We've now got a director of football. We've now got a technical director. So it might be, hopefully, I'm not trying to convince anyone of this is right or back United or the Glazers in any way, but we've just got all this in place. We might see some movement over the next couple of years. And then at that point, we have to be honest and say, okay, fair play. They've got a player in that we needed. And maybe that's the way forward now. And I hope that's right. He's absolutely spot on. We have to replace him and we need to.
Stu, for yourself, what are your thoughts?
Well, I think he's gone. I think he's made up his mind. I think he's done it. I think he's out the door in the summer. But I tend to agree with the lads, really. Especially Mark, it does actually
especially Mark.
Yeah, because it does what it does. For me, it's demonstrated the desperation of a real centre forward. Now, you know that I've mentioned this on many occasions about how instinctive he is in the 6-yard area, how quickly he is. He thinks 2 or 3 seconds clear than anybody else, and that's including defenders. He's that sharp in the box. We just got him at the wrong time of his career. Callum's right. It's panic buy, and unfortunately, when you look at the types of goals that he scored in for Uruguay, the types of goals he scored when he was at Napoli, he's a full-blooded number 9, but it's as sharp as a razor in there. And we're going to have to replace him with a striker because Greenwood, unfortunately, I don't think he'll ever reach the heights of a true number 9. He doesn't want to play in that 6-yard area. He wants to play 12 yards and out, really, say 12 to 18. And he likes to shoot with both feet, which is really, really dangerous. But you're not going to see him get across a centre half at the near post, or you're not going to see him back, take across at the far post. And that's a real problem for us.
I'm not quite sure if I agree with that. Sorry to interrupt, Stu.
No, that's all right, bud.
We've got to remember. Okay, so the problem is we are very impatient as fans. Okay, so we are desperate for this number 9 to come in, like Cavani, like Greenwood. But we've got to remember he's 19. I watched him quite a bit through the youth. Okay, and he scored a lot of headed goals. He was very much number 9. He's got that instinctiveness and he's got that predatory ilk. It's just about nurturing him and obviously doing those extra bits to his games. That's what happens when you sort of make that break to the first team. I understand what you're saying, but I honestly believe people need to be a bit more patient. And I do believe that Greenwood will be that number 9 at some stage.
Guys, I actually have a question.
Right. Can I just...
Go on. Yeah, go for it.
Yeah. I agree with that because I did see him in the 18s as well, and he was scoring all types of goals, and he did get quite a few headers. But he's not been up against nasty centre halves, has he? He's not been up against a Van Dijk. He's not been up against a Cody or whatever. Big, strong centre halves, and he's got to add that to his game. Also, a good number 9, a good solid number 9, is excellent at holding up the ball, taking the ball with his back to goal. And he's not quite there yet. But you're absolutely right. He's 19 years old. We might be having a different conversation by the time he's 21, 22. Yeah, and he's developed. But what he's going to need a top-end striker to show him that development. Yeah. When I watched, I've been watching Haaland recently because I got slaughtered on here weeks ago. When I wasn't convinced about Haaland. And you know something? You can't just if you take his goal scoring ability out the equation, there's not a great talented footballer there by any stretch of the imagination. His first touch isn't the best. He's gangly. He's languid occasionally. He's quick and he's strong, but I've never really seen him play properly with his back to goal. A little bit like Ruud van Nistelrooy, as an example. Now, Ruud was great with his back to goal, and Andy Cole was great with his back to goal. Dwight York wasn't. And so we're going to need, I think, right now, if you've got the likes of Martial, just say he stays purely, Greenwood and Rashford, you're going to need somebody who's great with a back to goal who can really hold the ball up to bring other players into play. And I don't know whether Haaland will do that for us. I could be wrong, but it's just an opinion that I've got.
I have a question. Sorry, go ahead there.
Sorry, Joe. I know you really want the question. Just to add to that, though, and I think, regardless of what your opinion of Haaland is, I don't think a striker is more important than a right winger. Because
agreed.
Haaland is, and as much as he can score goals, I think he'd be really isolated in this current team. Fernandes is a creator at the minute. Pogba helps with that as well. But when they aren't firing, we really struggle. Now, if you have a competent right winger, which we haven't had for 8-9 years, by the way, we have a competent right winger like Sancho. I'd argue that Martial will come back properly. Rashford will score more. Greenwood will start being in the centre forward position that he wants to be. And Greenwood will get more goals. I think Sancho is a much better signing than Haaland.
I absolutely agree with you.
Personally, I think you're right there.
In an ideal world, what would happen is we go all out for Sancho this summer and we get very lucky and nobody gets Haaland this year because nobody can afford him. We do really well next season and then Haaland comes to United next summer.
I take your point on Sancho. I do, or a wide player, whoever it may be.
Or a right winger, yeah, I get that.
Yeah, whoever it may be. But what I think it does, it just takes away an extra dimension that a Cavani type player gives us as well.
Yeah.
Sancho, you're absolutely right. I mean, he's devastating on the right. He really is. And I think he can play left as well, Colin, if I'm not mistaken. He can cut in on the right. I don't know if he can play through the middle. But having somebody like a Cavani type figure, whoever that may be, would, I think, give Sancho more ammunition, because at the minute I'm just worried that Martial through the middle won't give Sancho enough. Greenwood at this point in time through the middle won't go. I mean, there's a guy called John Ball. He's been on the comments saying he was a predator in the in the box at youth, but that's youth football. Yeah. Men's football is completely different to youth football.
That's what I wanted to say on Greenwood really quick, because I do comment on, I think I comment a lot about him, and it goes back to what Mark said. He's 19, and what Stu's saying too, he's playing against grown-ass men, right? So he's still a kid, and hopefully in the next few years he hits the weight room and bulks up, because that's what's going to help him, I think, at least mentally start being a predator again. He's not going to dive in there with fucking Van Dijk and guys like that, and he's going to get destroyed.
Yeah. I have a question to see us out, because I'm very, very tired and I've work tomorrow, okay? It's a silly question and you're having a wonderful conversation. My question is, who has been a better number 7 for us, okay? Edison Cavani or Michael Owen?
Wow.
Don't say, allegiance to the side.
Probably Michael Owen.
Michael Owen. Oh, okay. Why do you say Michael Owen?
Well, he was with us for longer. He scored more important goals. I hate Michael Owen, but
So do I.
he scored hat tricks for us. He won that game against City in the last minute for us. He just did more for us. Not that he was obviously better, because he's clearly not better, but for Man United in the long run, he probably was a better number 7 for us.
Yeah. Stuart?
A bit of a strange question.
Yeah. For my pure hatred of Michael Owen, I'm going to have to go Cavani. And he scored some great goals for us, and potentially, although he doesn't speak English, does he? Potentially, he might have an influence on some of the younger players. I don't know. It's a tough one. It's a good question, actually. But
Thank you.
A real tough one. Yeah.
No,
Okay.
I put it on Twitter earlier on when we were talking about Edinson Cavani, and I was like, I'm going to ask the lads this, and then you just changed the subject as I was typing, and I was like, oh bollocks! It's like I need to ask this because that's why some people were tuning in.
I might need Hammer's Bong to answer that properly.
Yeah,
I mean, it's right there.
I think the fact that Michael Owen, like the diehard Liverpool scum that he says he is, the fact that he won a title with us kind of does fill me with a bit of joy.
Not even Liverpool fans want him.
I think it's great.
Nobody wants him, do they? Nobody wants him.
Not even his wife wants him, I don't think.
No,
but guys, we're going to see it out now tonight. Thanks so much for joining us on this chaotic as ever, but wonderful All for United Uncut. Join us tomorrow from what time's kickoff? 4:30. So I guess from 7 o'clock with the post match. Which Mark, you're hosting, aren't you?
I am. Yeah. I've got a good lineup tomorrow. Straight after at 6:30. So
6:30.
please come in, and I've got my man Stu with me as well.
Perfect. And she will be there and Mark, I don't know who's there for Wall of Reds tomorrow evening, but I'll see you all there anyway from 9 o'clock for that. So I'll see you all there. Thanks so much. And
hey guys,
we'll see you when we're 3 points further up the league.
Aye.